Well, hello. It's a surprise lunch with the Crescent Lake Club. I'm Keels, and look who is back with me today. It's our favorite little buddy, Teetz. So, in case you missed it, Teetz was not on Marvel Monday last night, and he is convinced we're never going to stream on a Sunday again. And he missed
Also true,
seeing
yeah.
everyone's smiling, happy, chatty faces last night. And he's got a lot of things on his mind, especially related to Disney. So we thought, why not jump on, have a little lunchtime stream with you guys, and catch up with Teetz. So what have you been doing, Teetz?
Been working.
Slinging them nuts.
Yep, and booking travel. Those are the two things I do right now.
Do you want to let everyone know how long you've been on hold on the phone for the past 2 days?
Well, yesterday was 3 hours. Today was 4 hours. But got those Wish cruises booked, so everybody's happy.
Nice. What stateroom did they book?
Yesterday was a 5B. Today was a 5A, so both deluxe verandas.
Very nice. I've been in a deluxe veranda on the Disney Dream, and they are a real treat. Well, so today we're going to do something a little bit different, a little bit not controversial at all. When we originally came up with this idea, Teetz had a lot on his mind that he wanted to go through. In the harsh, cold light of day on this Tuesday afternoon, he doesn't have anything. So he's lucky that I'm around. And I am going to fire off. I've come up with 7 different topics that I'm just going to kind of scatter shoot through and get Teetz's immediate take. So they're going to be all over the place. Bear with us. I think one is going to make him angry, but we'll see. So we're going to start off with, just to continue from last night. So last night, if you guys weren't watching here on Twitch or YouTube, last night was Marvel Monday, and we had a special guest come on with me to review Thor: The Dark World. And the most important thing that Teetz wanted to talk about on this movie was, why is Jane the worst?
When I was watching this Sunday night, I immediately, I probably was only like 15 minutes in, and I'm like, you know what? I think Jane is worse than Pepper. And so I had immediately texted Keely about that, and I was like, I think we have a new worst Marvel woman, and her name is Jane. So I'm standing by that. I think she is worse than Pepper.
Yeah, and so we did have a conversation about this last night on this stream where, in these early on movies, the writers for Marvel just have a terrible time trying to create these love interests for these superheroes. Pepper, fine, she's smart, she works hard, but she's just so needy. Jane is smart, but boy, she is such a needy victim. And it's just like, come on, Thor, you're too hot for this. So I'm not a fan. I think you're onto something there with why is Jane the worst. I think it is even more glaring since we're watching them in chronological order, where the second movie we watched out of all of them is Captain Marvel. And she's a badass. You know what? Even Captain America's love interest is kind of a badass. She's not as wishy-washy as Pepper or Jane, especially not as wishy-washy as Jane. Thor is protecting the world. He's like protecting the universe. He can leave you standing somewhere for 5 hours. You'll be fine. He's still watching out for you. He still cares. So, yes, Jane is the worst. I'll give you that. See, I even took down my no Pepper sign.
We're making progress.
I'm getting there. So, next up, there were rumors on Twitter today that Disneyland is having to do some emergency fixes to the Matterhorn. It is crumbling right before our very eyes at Disneyland. Should we save the Matterhorn?
I don't understand this. I think the Matterhorn is just fine. Now, I've never ridden it, but everything I've seen, heard, that they've been, like the last 3 years, I think they've had lengthy refurbs each year. So I don't think they would invest all that time and money into something that then they would get rid of because it's old. Well, I mean, it is old, but I don't know. I think it's dumb that people are thinking that it's going away because it's breaking down or something. I don't know.
Let's shoehorn an IP into the Matterhorn. What IP would you put into the Matterhorn?
Oh, Or you could go Frozen. But
Oh,
the
Christ.
what's that? The big snow monster guy. He could be the new Yeti. I don't.
The one that looks like the marshmallow?
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question. There isn't a whole lot else that deals with winter.
Well, so we'll just leave it. We will, because we can't think of anything. Matterhorn, you've been saved in your current condition, crumbling or not. Let's go play basketball up there. So we touched on IP. One of Teetz's favorite things in the whole wide world is shoehorning IP into parks where it absolutely belongs, just like potentially turning Rafiki's Planet Watch at Animal Kingdom into Zootopia, which is actually a perfect natural fit. You could take the train, just like Margot Hop says, to Zootopia. There's already animals there. It's got a conservation aspect. You know, the petting zoo is like, there's an area at Zootopia that is totally petting zoo-ish. So I know Teetz loves shoehorning IP into parks, right? Yes? You're all about the IP? Shake your head yes. Shake your head yes. Well, it will come as no surprise as to the person who absolutely hates IP being shoehorned into somewhere had basically a brain explosion when the Disney Wish was released. And why? Because it is an IP explosion. That's all it is. It's just IP everywhere.
You know, well, I think on a cruise ship, it's a little different in terms of bringing IP into. I've never been on a cruise, so I can't speak to, their full experience. But I think you're going to, especially on a Disney ship, people are going to want and expect Disney characters, whether it's just Mickey and the Fab Five or Star Wars, Marvel, Pixar, whatever. And I think they've done a great job with like the kids clubs, at least from what I've seen, and including franchises and stuff in there. But now, like you mentioned, the IP explosion with the Wish, we are seeing Disney franchises everywhere. You have a Marvel dining experience, a Frozen dining experience, a Star Wars themed bar. I'm definitely okay with the Star Wars themed bar. We have
Literally,
yet to.
Can I get just a little bit of props? And I'm going to go back and I'm going to find the clip of it when I was talking about what I expected. And I'm like, they're going to drop an Ogas onto this boat. And what did they do?
It's not Ogas, but it's close enough.
Same difference. Same difference. So that's a scoreboard for me. I was right. I'm going to go for that clip. And if you watch on our YouTube channel, that is going to be this week's trailer. I'm sure if I go back and rewatch it, I was right about a lot more stuff. But definitely I said they are going to put an Ogas on this boat. And what did you get? You got like the Star Cruiser Lounge or something, but it's the same difference. Okay, continue. Back to your love of IP.
I think like stuff like the Star Wars bar and stuff, I think to me that's okay. I'm interested to see how the like Frozen and Marvel themed dining does, and if that's too much in your face or if it's just right.
So one of those is definitely going to be an upcharge, right? It has to be.
I honestly, I don't know which, because one of them is going to be what they would be considering their animator's palette of this ship. So one of those has to be that.
The animator's palette or the Rapunzel or Tiana's place or something like that. Which I imagine that's going to be the Frozen one. I'm thinking the Marvel because they kept in every kind of description they give you of it, it sounds almost like dinner theater, like a progressive kind of dinner theater.
And so does Frozen, though. Frozen is supposed to be like a show while you're eating too.
Well, so on the smaller ships, on the Wish and the Magic, that's where you get Tiana's place and the Rapunzel birthday party or whatever that have like a show component to it. And so that's why I think the Frozen it's going to be, again, like summer celebration or something like that. So that's why I think the Marvel thing is going to be more like a dinner theater, almost to the level of like not a murder mystery dinner, but like a Marvel kind of mystery dinner. So that's why I think they do mention it's going to be an intimate, immersive experience, which it makes it hard to rotate everyone through that, especially on a a 3 or 4 night cruise, when you can just easily get people to fork over $75, and instead of waiting for a Marvel Day at Sea, they can do this.
Yeah.
Because they did say on the ship they were going to do the holidays and Marvel Day at Sea and Star Wars, and I'm sure they're going to shove some more IP celebrations in there. But so Teetz, leave the IP out of Animal Kingdom. Bring all of the IP to the Disney Wish. Okay, just we're on that. Now, next up, we talked a little bit about this last night. We got release of all sorts of information about the new Marvel Avengers campus in Disney's California Adventure at the Disneyland Resort. We got to see some of the food offerings and drink offerings, the map where everything's going to be located, and we got some insight into the new ride that will be opening up. It's going to be a virtual queue. There's a lot of drama going on with that, but we'll get to that next. But first up, I want to hear Teetz's hot take about.
Well, we should preface this by saying it's not the ride itself that I have a problem with. It's and I don't know if I necessarily have a problem with it yet because it's kind of yet to be seen, but it's the upcharge thing that they're doing with all these extra things you can buy to then change or enhance your ride experience on Web Slingers. So I think it starts at $39.99 or whatever, and then you can even add on more stuff for another $30, which I guess price point wise, that's kind of not bad for Disney. When he was thinking like it's going to be like $100 to do this or something. But
I need to take a 20 here real quick and just run through just a little bit. I'm shocked you don't have any of this in your background, and I want it there before the next Teetz's Tuesday takes, because we've got some things. I don't know if you guys know this, but Ryan loves attraction and land specific themed expensive merchandise. Loves it. Raise your hand if you own a Banshee and the perch that the Banshee sits on. Thank you. Raise your hand if you built a droid in Batu. Thank you. Raise your hand if you built a lightsaber in Batu. Raise your hand if you're going to end up buying this thing to help you win Marvel Toy Story Midway Mania.
I'm not ruling it out.
Just go ahead and raise the hand. We know how this works. We're all on too. Raise your hand. Put it up. Put it up. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're not fooling any of us. So when you went nuclear about this thing, I'm just like, you are actually going to buy this. You're going to buy this. So tell us more about what this like little glovey thing will do.
So I guess they have like two like theme types. One is Iron Man and I forget the other guy's name. It's related to Iron Man.
You're buying the Iron Man.
And then there's one that's based on Spider-Man and Ghost Spider. So there's two different kind of like sets you can go with. And they basically we don't have like full details, but they said that they're going to enhance your web slinging abilities. So instead of just a normal web, you might get like a lightning web or something. I don't know. So I guess I'm interested to see how well it works and if, it will actually be worth the $40 that they're charging for it.
Oh, you will be justified. You'll be just fine with what you're eventually going to shell out for this thing that you're probably going to use only once, because you can only get the virtual pass for it once in your 6-day stay. And that's that. Also, I would like to point out the 3 things that Teetz already does own. He's only used them in the parks the day that he's purchased them. They have never made return visits. Like, the droid is supposed to be in a backpack that interacts with the land. Well, R2D8 or whatever his name is.
R5D8. Yeah, one number right.
R5D8 has never, ever since his droid birth, his droid creation, has never once returned to the motherland of Batu. Not even during the duration of that trip. He got shoved in that little cardboard carrier, taken back to like Pop Century or something, and that
Caribbean
was
Beach.
the
I was
last
at Caribbean Beach.
Fine, you were at Caribbean Beach. He got thrown in that little cardboard carrier, taken back to Caribbean Beach, and then got taken to the basement in Wisconsin, where he currently resides. Can't even be in a backdrop for Teetz's streaming setup.
I don't have any shelves here. I just need something to.
Then, recently as this year, you went and built a lightsaber. Put that bad boy in that little carrier thing, took him back to Boardwalk. At least you upgraded. You weren't at Pop this time around. Did you ever take the lightsaber back to the park?
Well, I've only been back once since then, and that was for your birthday trip. So.
Oh, and I would have ratioed you to high hell if you brought the lightsaber or the droid for my birthday. Okay, smart call. Good job. So yes, built this lightsaber. Did you even take PhotoPass pictures with the lightsaber?
No, I did mean to go back, but I was also with like 10 other people, so I didn't want to be like.
Did you even take pictures with your lightsaber during one of your virtual Star Wars runs?
I did do that.
Okay.
Yes. It's actually the thumbnail for my Star Wars video.
Okay, good. Now the Banshee. Did you ever even wear the Banshee on your shoulder?
Not in the park, no.
You're just the ultimate consumer. You are the person that this shit is created for, is Teetz. It's like, let's come up with whatever the most ridiculous thing is, because this kid from Wisconsin will 100% buy it. So this one is going to have him a little bit nervous. Our next topic is, would you eat this? And here's a visual. Ready?
It's a cupcake with a monorail on it, so I would think so. Yes.
It looks like a penis with poop on the top of it.
That's a monorail. Clearly a monorail.
What's the chocolate on the very top? That's unnecessary. So yes, this is one of the limited edition monorail cupcakes that you can get at the Contempo Cafe at Disney's Contemporary Resort. And I would not touch this with a 5-foot pole. It would go straight in the trash can. But Teetz obviously is very excited by this cupcake. Fair?
Yep.
You were really worried it was going to be something like octopus.
I thought you were going to put up that $100 panini from Avengers Campus.
I thought about it, but then again, on the heels of you bought all this crap that you never take back to the parks, of course you're gonna buy the web slinger thing, and of course you're gonna eat the $100 panini, even though there's not anything on it that you like.
Got to do it for the content.
Okay, food blog. Which brings us to this. To squish or not to squish. So one of the most controversial things on theme park social media is a blog called Disney Food Blog, which, to be honest, is about everything except for food, has somehow found a YouTube, Instagram algorithm sweet spot where they get max likes, follows, you name it, of them squishing food. Talk about that, and let me call one up just for our viewers to see this.
I don't remember. It's at least a few months ago it started, but like they just like I don't even know why. It's just they just started taking two hands and just mushing food and ripping it apart, and it's like, why? I mean, they only take one bite of these things anyways and then throw them away. So why do you have to ruin it? It's like they just the other day they did it one of the donuts, I think from Everglades at Disney Springs. They just both hands on it with the giant colored fingernails, and they just rip it apart.
Let's see here. So I got real triggered. I think the videos are on Twitter, so I'll call up Twitter. I got real triggered because now their newest thing is to get plastic cheese from
Oh, yes. That was just ridiculous.
So now they've doubled down. So first of all, whoever films these wears stick-on nails, which okay, I'm not going to shame those. Anytime you guys see me on stream, not right now because I did them today. Looks like my nails are done. I've had a manicure. Oh no, those are stick-on nails. So I'm not going to fault them for that. But whoever does them wears these really long coffin cut ones, and so that when they squeeze all of this crap, all I can think about is all the gunk that is stuck up underneath these fingernails, and just like. Ugh. There's no way they wash their hands enough for that to not be gross. So first it was a food squishing. Now they're doubling down on grossness by putting plastic cheese, which is like nacho cheese like you get at a ball game, basically. Putting it on everything and making it like this is okay. And the most recent is so appalling. I'm pulling it up on Twitter. I'm going to share my screen and show the video. It is so appalling for many different reasons. They took the nacho cheese and they took a bacon cheeseburger and they add the nacho cheese to the bacon cheeseburger, which isn't that bad when you think about it. But they pour it on top of the vegetables. Just wait until you guys see this. It's so gross. Come on, share screen. Oh, you're killing me, Smalls. But yeah, so don't follow Disney Food Blog if you don't like gross food or if you want to know about Disney food because they don't talk about that at all.
It's mostly merchandise and squishing food. That's what they do. They don't review the food anymore. They just squish it and then post what the latest ears are.
That's what I'm having to scroll through right now. Let's see. It was the burger thing was just this past week. I should have saved this. Hey, talk about Tron.
Well, they restarted working on it, so it's coming, I guess. When? We don't know, but they're working on it. Every day there's some picture of them unloading drywall because I guess that is a major update to see some drywall on a flatbed. But I mean,
says the guy who was super excited thinking he was going to see a raptor driven through the park to Velocicoaster when we were at Universal.
Well, that's more exciting than drywall.
What did we end up seeing, though? A generator. I give up. There's so much crap on this Twitter feed, I can't find what I want. Anyway, to squish or not to squish, kids, don't squish. Don't squish. I don't care if some fetish site is going to start following you and bring you every K-pop fan and blast your likes and subscribes into the millions. Don't do it. It's not worth it. You will regret yourself later. Speaking of regretting yourselves, boy, if you want to take a deep dive into Diz Twitter drama lately, it is coming from the pass holes. Because you know what? Pass holes are people too.
I mean, we both are one, so.
If the magic band fits.
And I have plenty of those.
Oh, yeah, you do. Speaking of more shit that is just marketed to Ryan, you have magic bands you have never even worn before, don't you?
No, I think I've worn all. Actually, there's one I got from a friend who went to a Disney Parks blog meetup and gave me their match. It's unlinked and it's like Disney emojis or something. So it's kind of girly. So I'd never wear it, but I do have that one. I think that's the only one I've never worn. But the rest I've all worn.
I'm trying to, because I still have mine in my backpack from April. Let's see how many I have. Backpack just fell off my chair. Epcot.
I have that one.
Judy and Bert. Why? Because it's black. Aw.
Also have that one.
I think we all got this one for my birthday trip. This one does not bark. This one does bark. And that's it. Very responsible. I have a very responsible amount of Magic Bands. And I don't even take the Epcot one with me anymore because I usually just go in the park 3 or 4 days. And so my 2 doggos and my balloons, I wear those all the time. See, very, very responsible. Meanwhile, Teetz, you should like do a chain of just like link all of yours up, kind of like Christmas decorations.
Yeah, I mean, I keep the limited edition ones in the boxes, so they are displayed in their box on top of my desk.
Oh, I don't even know where the boxes for mine are. Well, seeing I usually lose at least one Dooney and Burke one a trip. I used to have the sketch one with all the parks. Well, that's gone somewhere. Used to have the Mickey and Minnie sketch one. Yeah, I lost that one. Used to have the one that my favorite one before the Doggo ones came out was the one with all the theme parks in like the compass little shapes. Oh yeah, that's long gone too. And you know what they say that I just like heard a ghost run through your room. I just heard feet. Yeah, they say that they'll get it back to you if they, if they find it and whatnot. But no, I've never had anyone returned. They just come up as lost and they stay lost forever, which stinks because those Dooney and Burke ones are expensive. But anyway, back to castles or people too. There is a big uproar amongst just Twitter. Not so much between the Crescent Lake Club because we're kind of easy breezy, go with the flow kind of folks. We also don't live in Florida, so we don't have to worry about this as often. But annual pass holders for Disney are kind of upset. And I feel within good reason, except for one thing. They're really having hard times getting park reservations. And the new park reservation process doesn't make it easy for what they knew as annual pass holder life to be like, where you didn't have to really plan in advance. If you just felt like going to the parks after work one day, you could just hop in and there you go. But with the new park reservations, you kind of have to know whether you're going to go or not. Which, just make park reservations anyway. And if you don't go, it's not like you can't have them anymore.
Yeah, there's no penalty.
There's no penalty if you don't show up. It's not like the $10 dining charge or whatever, making an AR and not showing up. Plus, we want to go to Magic Kingdom. We can't go to Magic Kingdom. I think a lot of that would be made easier once the Epcot monorail line opens back up because you just go into Epcot, scan in, walk right back out, get on the monorail, and then park hop to Magic Kingdom. So it's a lot of bitching from pass holes just for the sake of bitching. What do you think?
Yeah, I do understand some of it. Like, I know, like, if you have, like, at least, like, I know a lot of people want, like, October 1st booked because obviously that's the 50th, so that takes away a day. And then the only other way you really get more is if you have a resort stay. So if you're local, I mean, if you want, I guess, in the immediate, like, within the week, it's usually pretty hard to get them within that week. But I mean, day of, they'll usually appear, or if you're over a week out, they'll be there. And especially now, as they begin to increase capacity more and more, they should be better off with, being able to find reservations. It's just, I wonder too now, because we got more comments that the park reservation system is here to stay, so it's not going anywhere. I wonder if they will find ways to limit APs on certain days. Like, are they going to keep that AP base small on October 1st and make sure you have to have a resort reservation or something in order to get in? Or, on maybe New Year's or something like that, are they going to, make sure the AP bucket is smaller than everything else so that other people have an advantage?
I think we're definitely seeing a right sizing of the park reservation system because my biggest beef on the whole thing was back when I think we all had clients or friends at the Disney parks during spring break, Easter, and the people with these really, really pricey on-site resort stays couldn't get park reservations to anywhere except for Epcot. But then you look over on the annual pass holder calendar and it's green for all 4 parks everywhere. So I think there's definitely been some right sizing there, which, to be honest, pass holes, listen, I'm talking to every single one of y'all that live in Florida. You guys got 28 times the value of your annual pass from July until December of last year when nobody was traveling and you literally had the parks all to yourselves. So I want to hear it. That's it. Plus, I got an October 1st reservation. Was it hard? No. You know who doesn't have an October 1st reservation? This guy.
I had to wait to renew my annual pass, so now it's a waiting game to see if I can get one.
We'll keep watching. So this is going to, Teetz touched on it just a little bit. This is a new one I just added. I'm just coming up with more stuff. So here we go. This one is exclusively for Teetz. I'm not going to weigh in because I don't really care. But here we go. Is Bob Chapek worse than Jane?
That's a tough one. Both, whoever, I mean, well, I should say Jane can talk better than Bob, but Jane has a terrible script writer. Bob's script writer is fine. Bob just can't talk. It's, I don't know. Bob is Bob. Bob does what Bob does, and that's it. I'm not Tom Corliss where I freak out and hate him with all my guts or whatever, but he is not my favorite person in the world.
Okay, so how about this person who is kind of one of your favorite people? Are you ready? Is Josh's hotness killing the parks?
I like, so for some people on Twitter, this is, their bit, like, Daddy Josh is their thing or whatever. But
he's a zaddy. He's a zaddy.
And people were freaking out when he was in casual clothes at the Knott's anniversary party the other day.
My gosh. Who took that creeper picture of him? I'm going to see if I can find that. He's like looking dead on. He's like, why are you doing this to me?
And then there were people commenting like, oh, I hope his son is single and stuff because his son was right next to him.
That's so gross. So gross.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, he's a daddy, but let's not do this.
So, yeah. Josh is a people person. He is not, he's going to try to be all about his persona and his likeness. And that's why he's got his Instagram. That's why people have accounts specifically dedicated to him. They don't do that for Bob Chapek. So, I mean, I guess Josh has got that going for him. I don't know. I don't have a problem with Josh. I don't love him. I don't hate him. So he's fine.
All right. And I've got my next one. We're going to jump back into parks again. Are you ready for this hot take?
I'm surprised this didn't come up sooner.
I just thought of it. I literally, if you heard me typing, I was just typing this.
No, they are completely fine. They are, I would argue, the best show in the Magic Kingdom. I mean, it's a must-do. Who doesn't love listening to Big Al sing Blood on the Saddle? I mean, what's wrong with that?
Well, as a follow-up to that one, I've got another one. Who would definitely be the one to the FBI? Trader Sam or Big Al?
Well, I would say Trader Sam because he's like a cannibal. He cuts people's heads off. He's into the heads. So he's Big Al just plays his guitar and is enjoying life.
I almost wish we had Angela with us because we're gonna go back to Big Al. And if you can't see where I'm going with this and making the case for the problems that the country bears bring, tell us what Blood on the Saddle means.
Yeah.
I will never forget. Oh gosh. This is the other reason why now I can't go back into Magic Kingdom, because that was pretty much the best, like, penultimate moment is we were wearing our cute Christmas outfits, and Angela and Leslie stayed in the park to do their just total commando park going thing that they like to do, which was our November trip. So crowd levels were still pretty great. Pretty great. So they were able to knock out a whole bunch of stuff. Meanwhile, Witty, Teetz, and I went to Geyser Point to get our booze on for the afternoon. We came back, met up with everyone, and we quickly realized that out of the 5 of us, 3 members had not seen the problematic experience that is the Country Bear Jamboree. And even though Teetz wouldn't admit that he wanted to go to it, our whole day started off when we were trying to take pictures in our cute Christmas outfits, and all Teetz could do was stare longingly at this dude that kept walking across the Liberty Square Bridge to the hub, cosplaying Big Al. And he just is
Not
like,
just
why
Big
am I
Al.
here?
Christmas Big Al.
Christmas Big Al. And he's like, I'm stuck in this stupid, shitty Mickey Mouse Christmas outfit when I could have been Christmas Big Al, and nobody thought about me and my little tiny teensy hopes and dreams when they put these outfits together. So because his feelings were hurt and he was super jealous, I decided to take one for the team and tell everyone, Country Bears isn't that bad. It's only like 14 minutes now. It used to be half an hour. Let's go and do Tiny Teetsy a solid. So we go, we sit down. It's me, it's Teetsy, it's Witty, it's Angela, it's Leslie. And I make sure we go onto the right side because I know where Big Al is going to be, and I know that is Teetsy's favorite, like more than Donald Duck favorite character. So he is front and center right in front of Big Al. I was not, even though he said point blank, I'm going to sing through this entire thing, I was not prepared that he would, in fact, sing through this entire thing and record it as if this was the first time he was seeing it, as if that iPhone and iCloud doesn't have a million videos of Country Bear Jamboree already in it. Anyway, the first problematic song was the poor hooker bear that comes down from the ceiling.
That was the first problematic song?
Well, there was Stony Bear. There's a little Stony Bear that sits on the corner. Then you've got the child labor sluts. Then you've got Porno Bear, Hooker Bear, comes down from the ceiling. They can't give any of these women bears pants or cover them up in any way, shape, or form, like a boa dropping down from the ceiling. Come on. Singing about all the ones that turn me on, turn me away, or throw me away.
Turn me down. Turn me down.
Turn me down. So that was bad enough. Then, the little porte cochere opens up. We see Big Al singing Blood on the Saddle. And Angela goes, is this what I think it's about? And we're like, and to close this part out, in case you didn't know that the Country Bears are problematic, this thing would have been Me Too'd out of the park a long ass time ago if people actually went to go see
it. Hey, those ladies with the light up masks in the front row were having a great time.
You're going to see a lot of that shit at Dollywood. A lot at Dollywood. So, another thing that has Teetz triggered, and we haven't really talked about it. I haven't had time to type in a banner for this one real quick, so I'm just going to bring it up and you talk about it because I have 2 more that I'm going to type in banners for. Ratatouille, just sitting there, waiting. Ratatouille. Raptor is wide open. People are loving the Velocicoaster. So, hot take, are you going to ride Velocicoaster?
Yes, because I've talked to some people who have ridden it, and they said if you can do Hulk, you can do Velocicoaster. So I am in on that.
And you did Hulk twice.
I did.
Do you think you will make it back to Universal a second time before Ratatouille opens?
That is not a crazy possibility. I mean, I don't know. That could happen. That's possible.
All right. So now there's the feed again. I can hear it. It's like, well, earlier, I've never streamed with Teetz in the middle of a weekday before. And earlier there was this caterwaul, and I thought like a cat was dying somewhere, or maybe Sydney was real upset about something, and I forgot their kids at the house. It's a weekday. So these are kind of just going to be rapid fire. Which comes first? Okay, you ready?
Okay.
Which comes first? Tron opening or new Universal Park?
I'll go Tron opening.
Which comes first? Space Hotel or Space Restaurant?
Oh boy. At this rate, I'm gonna go the Star Wars Space Hotel.
Which comes first? Guardians Ride at Epcot or Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
Guardians at Epcot, because they're gonna film them in conjunction.
I feel like that's an insider knowledge you haven't told us about.
Well, James Gunn said so on Twitter, so.
Which comes first? Harmonious or new Universal theme park?
Harmonious, because that will debut this year.
Which comes first? Secret Life of Pets or Guardians of the Galaxy ride?
Well, knowing how fast Universal moves, that could be Secret Life of Pets, but I guess we'll see.
So, which annual pass? So we both are pass holders for Walt Disney World and Universal Orlando. It's not even my hot take. I'm very transparent about which fandom I fall more in line with these days. But now, as an annual pass holder for both, which do you like more?
Well, the Universal one, I don't have to book park reservations for. I can come and go as I please. There are a few blackouts one that is gonna hit me in July when I go, because Volcano Bay is blacked out on my pass, so I have to buy a ticket for Volcano Bay, but that's okay. But I mean, this is my first time with a Universal annual pass, so I haven't got the full benefits of it yet.
But at least you'll be there at the first of the month, so you're guaranteed to get whatever your annual pass holder button is, which I'm real mad I missed out on April, or I missed out on May, and I'm missing out on June, because they're two of my most favorite things at Universal. So May was blue, to celebrate Velocicoaster, and June is a thing you took from me.
Red button.
Asshole. The red button on the Men in Black ride. So I love Universal. I love Volcano Bay. I'm excited that you're going to go ahead and spend like the $60 or $70 to buy a day pass to go to Volcano Bay. It is so worth it. I think you're going to have a blast. You need to wear sunscreen. Make sure you take a swimsuit. Go ahead and tell your mom to remind you to pack one. So for this last kind of segment, I just want you to drop hot takes, controversial stuff. Not about Country Bears, though.
Well, that was going to be the first one.
Fine, just do it.
Well, I mean, Country Bears is the best. That's my hot take right there.
Gross. That's the only take you got is about Country Bears? Is just defending Country Bears?
I don't know. I don't like being put on the spot. But, I mean, Animal Kingdom is my favorite park, which most people disagree with, which I think is quite odd because it has the best bars in a park. It is the best themed park. It has fantastic attractions, and it's not IP everywhere like other parks.
Like the Disney Wish that you're obsessed with?
I am not obsessed with. It's just all the only news that has been around for like the
I
last
can't wait to
3
get on
weeks.
this ship. I can't wait to get on this ship.
Listen, I've got to promote things that we're selling, okay?
How's that wait time going for you?
You know, I'm over it. It's over and done with.
So just to kind of wrap things up, Teetz is selling Disney Wish. If you want to go on that with Teetz, if you want to help get Teetz on the Disney Wish, stay tuned to our social media. I'm sure there's going to be a GoFundMe at some point because we're all going to get tired of hearing about it. Let's get Tiny Teetsy to his IP explosion dream of just IP everywhere. Are they going to retheme the Grand Floridian entirely to Beauty and the Beast?
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it at this point because it needs something. They're taking out a whole building for DVC at this point. Why not just go all in on the rest of it?
Ain't nobody spending $1,000 a night to stay in Grammy's spare bedroom. Put the birds back in the cages. Damn it. Lobby birds. Come back. Build those cages again.
I mean,
so what else? So we've got Avengers Campus at Disneyland is opening next week. Honestly, I don't expect any Disney news. Do you think we're going to get Eat to the Beat back in the fall for Food and Wine Festival?
from what I've heard, yes, or at the very least, at least some local artists, like they kind of did with Flower and Garden. They took the taste of out of the language for Food and Wine, so I would think they're at least hoping for a full type festival.
Yeah.
I think they're kind of, and notice too how we got the announcement for the Boo Bash, and then it's been radio silence since then. They haven't released pricing or dates or anything, because right after that, the CDC and everybody went, you can open up, take your masks off, and do all this other stuff. So they're like, now what?
Oh, I think Not So Scary Halloween Party is DOA. I don't think you're ever going to see that back again.
I'm just wondering if
they're not going to pay to mount that parade ever again. When the time that parade performs, you already have everyone in Christmas rehearsal.
I'm not so much about the parade, but I wonder if they're gonna add fireworks to the party, and that would help. Then they can increase the price. Say, hey, look, you get exclusive fireworks for this, and that kind of thing. So I'm interested to see what they do, because
you can still go sit on the Poly Beach for cheaper and watch them.
Yeah,
you can go to them. You can go watch from the parking lot at the TTC.
And 2 shows. You have this, like the Sanderson sister show. Will that come back at all? Stuff like that.
So, what do you expect any more announcements prior to the 50th, or it's pretty much what we know or what we expect?
For the start of the 50th, I think it's what we have right now is what we're going to get. I don't expect the only thing that's being talked about, which I don't think will come until they announce fireworks returning anyways, is not a new show, but like a 50th tag at the end, kind of, celebrate the 50th at the end of Happily Ever After. So I think we may see that, but I don't think you're going to see too much else in October for the 50th.
Remember when we had all these ideas, like what if they brought back Tapestry? What if they brought back Wishes? What if they brought back all of this and all we got was Mickey and Minnie got new outfits?
And some castle decor, that's it, yeah.
Well, anything else you got? Anything else you want to talk about? Get off your chest.
No.
Coming in Animal Kingdom.
That's not happening. No, that's not happening. But I did have a friend send me because cast previews started today for Avengers Campus, so they did send me a screenshot of the boarding group process, which they are testing with cast members, and it was, I don't remember what group it was, but they did have the estimated wait was like 205 minutes. So even with cast members, it seems to be popular.
No. No, like waited 200 minutes, and I had 3 virtual line passes for Hagrid's, and only got to ride it once, and I waited 200 minutes for that. And I love Hagrid's. It's too much. It's too much. Also, I'm not going in Animal Kingdom again because those birds from the bird show fly at you. And ever since those blue jays attacked me last week, my bird fear has gone through the roof.
Oh boy.
In case you guys didn't know, I got attacked by blue jays in my backyard last week. And apparently I just received a notification from the little shed in my backyard that the blue jay is back and being real aggressive. So I got to go find my bike helmet if I want to go out in the backyard. Because 2 of them, I ducked on the first one, kind of like when you see a bird like flying at your windshield. I was like, ooh. So I ducked on the first one, and the second one came and got me, and then the third one came back this way. And I'm like, I'm out. Like claws to my scalp. And I haven't been right since. Do birds have rabies? Like in their claws or something?
I don't
Probably
think
should
the
look that up.
claws.
Should have looked that up. But then I was like, I just thought, I'm like, well, so maybe they're protecting something, or maybe they're just dickheads. And so I Googled blue jays attack people, and the first story that came up is blue jays are the assholes of the bird world. And I'm like, yep.
Oh.
So no, I will not be going to Animal Kingdom with you guys ever again. Or I'm going to take my bike helmet because those birds from the bird show have swooped on me on the bridge heading to the macaroni and cheese place enough make me aware that they do that and exactly where they do it. Well, I guess I'll go and I'll just have to take a long way through Dinosaur to get to Yeti.
I was going to say, just don't go through that down the center. And plus, well, I mean, they don't start it until like 10:30. So if you get there before 10:30 or probably after like 3-4 o'clock, then you're good.
Well, the macaroni and cheese place is only open like 6 days out of the year for like 2 hours anyway.
That's
so
true.
It's not like, I'm going to say, yeah. Well, we should do this again. I don't know that I'm going to beat any of the topics that I came up with today because I think they were pretty legit.
I'm sure you'll find something.
I've got lots of material to work with. So check back in. If you guys are following us on Twitter, watching us on Twitch, thanks so much. Hit that purple follow button. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button, smash the bell notification so you get alerts when we go live for some of these special shows like we did today with Teetz's Tuesdays Takes. I'm sure we'll be back sooner rather than later with another one of these. And I'm also hoping for a happiest hour at some point this week with our West Coast correspondent, Marcus, who was at Disneyland just a week ago to give us some of his insights and experiences and see how all that is shaking out. Luckily, he lives in California. This week is to go to Disneyland. Tomorrow, Courtney and I are back after taking a week off with another Wind Down Wednesday, which I think is going to be filled with cruise talk. So much cruise talk. An hour's worth of cruise talk. But we have a lot of exciting things in the works and to tell you guys about that are not IP Explosion, that is Disney Wish. So we go live here again on Twitch and YouTube at 8 o'clock tomorrow. There will not be a CLC live this weekend because I have to call a baseball game at 6. And there will also be Teetz free again for Marvel Monday. Sad face. But we do have something in the works for a big double feature of Guardians of the Galaxy with some extra special guests coming in to talk with us. We'll have a whole panel to talk about the Guardians of the Galaxy movies for you when we get to that. And we're just kind of cruising right along. But don't forget to check out all of Teetz's great work on our social media pages. If you're watching on YouTube, I have them linked right down below. And follow us on our blog and our website at crescentlakeclub.com for all the latest theme park and travel news. And if you want Teetz to wait on hold to book you that Disney Wish cruise for 3.5 hours minimum, that was our phone handle time today. He is Ryan at crescentlakeclub.com. So anyway, any other thoughts, Teetz, before I...
No, I think that is it for today.
All right. Well, thanks you guys again. It's been a blast. We'll see you real soon.